Just things you got to do. Hey, Roundup. Greetings, class. Hey, class. How you guys doing? I hope well. I hope well. Come on in. Come on in, Roundup homies. Greetings. Greetings, class. It's a beautiful day. It's an honor for me to be here with you today. Greetings, class. Greetings. Come on in. Come on in. We've got one of our members here. Mark, what's up, homie? Greetings, my friend. Roundup, if you want to be one of our members to help for us to continue to create this content for you, there's a button right below to say join. We give busy professionals and full-time entrepreneurs just a little something extra where they can ask questions first, get your questions answered before all of my subscribers. So it's going to cost you nothing but a large Starbucks coffee a month, just barely that, and it will help me to continue to produce content for you for free, right? For free. I do this. I was over here. You would not believe. I've got a $300,000 deal I got to close, put down hardwood floors, got another $45,000 deal I have to fund. And I take time out of my day because I love you and I'm serious. I'm passionate about your financial future. I don't want you to be like me when I was 28, on the way to have nothing to show for your life, right? I don't want that to be you. So Roundup, come on in. I am Chris Haskins. I'm your pilot for the day. My mission is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. You are in the Land Trust Workshop right now. What we're going to be talking about, you are here because you are, like me, probably trying to figure this real estate thing out. When I was in the game coming through the ranks 2007, I heard about this thing called a trust, and I'm like, you know what? I ain't doing all that, man. I just buy the house in my name as I was advised by my accountant. Shout out to Lynn. What's up if you're watching? Then Ron LeGrand told me, Chris, only an idiot would put a 6 or 7 figure asset in their name or in their LLC's name. So we are going to be talking about how to keep you and your company off public record today, right? Not asset protection. That's going to be for your attorney to do another layer. This is the first line of defense, setting it up in a trust. Okay? Not keeping your name. I want you to operate in complete anonymity. If you go down and do a search on Chris Haskins at the courthouse, I own nothing other than the ones that I haven't taken out of my name because I had a mortgage on them years ago. But other than that, I own very little real estate at the courthouse. Okay? So my disclaimer is I'm not your attorney. This is not a relationship. I'm not giving you any financial, legal, or tax advice, right? This is for informational purposes only. I'm not guiding you to go down. I'm recommending you to go hire your own attorney and your own professionals, real estate professionals, to get this done in your state. Don't come back, don't come back, sue me. You can't do that if you're watching this. You're agreeing. You're not going to sue me if you're trying to go implement some of this stuff. Then Chris told me to do this. Okay, so I love you. Go do your own research. Don't count on this one location. Hire your attorney before you get all this stuff set up, but it's going to save you. This training here is going to save you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for not having to have your attorney type all this stuff up every time. You already got it. All right, so I'm going to give you a special here. If you, in the video description below, you're going to be able to download all of my land trust documents. You can follow along. I'm going to banter for about 30 minutes explaining how land trusts work, the trustee, the beneficiary, the moving parts, the trust agreement, the declaration of trust. So you're going to get all that. And then if you want to follow along as we go through the documents, you can use the code 25 off to exercise a coupon that will give you 25% off of the full land trust document packet. And I'm honored to be here. Members, questions first. Don't forget, all my members, thank you for supporting me. We will do your questions first. If you want to join to be a member, it's right in the video description below. So let's get rocking and rolling, y'all. Land trusts. Land trusts. I got my disclaimer out of the way. We're going to just be taking our definitions from the Barron's book, and there's going to be a bunch of resources along with your link to download the land trust document packet. There's going to be a bunch of resources in the video description that you can get to help you on your journey, along with the Barron's book. You can download that. That link is down below. That's where we get our definitions from. All right. So some of the definitions. Why are you here? You don't want to put your next house, or you want to transfer your current house into, well, actually out of your name, right? Because if you're anything like me, you're buying properties in your name like a dummy, like I did. Good Lord, why did I do that so many years ago? Crazy, right? Okay, and if you're watching this replay, then I'm only charging you a few $100 for this stuff. I mean, I'm not trying to kill you. I want you to be financially successful. I need my people to be financially successful so we can pass it on to the next generations. That's where I'm at, y'all. And that's my mission. And I'm glad that you are here to support it. Okay. So, land trust. Let's get right into this. Why land trust? Because it is a pass-through entity. You do not have to have a tax ID. You do not have to go create another tax return for this. It flows right through to the beneficiaries. But the main purpose we use land trust is to keep our name off public record. So I had a client reach out to me, did some work. I did some roofing work, right, for another client. And apparently the roofing work leaked, and it wasn't because of him. It was because of something else, whatever. But the homeowner came after him. I'm like, see, I don't want to mention his name. He calls me up. I got this judge. He says, Chris, guy says, I got this judgment coming down the pipe coming on me. What can I do? I need to get my houses out of my name. Because what happens when you have judgments that come against your name, they attach automatically to any real property that you own, okay? So you have to know that it's best to keep houses out of your name. So guy says, Chris, I got this judgment coming, 19,000. Can you help me? I'm like, you already got the judgment. It's here. We needed to have these properties out of your name before the judgment came, okay? So I want you to do this now, implement it now before any creditor or predator starts sneaking around. And the main purpose of the land trust is not that we're going to shield you or protect you from any type of obligation that you have, because we fulfill our obligations, right? It's just so anybody that's coming after you has to have a conversation with their pocketbook in order to do so. Okay, so if you have all your stuff in a trust, they're going to have to hire somebody to find you. All right, so let's get into our definitions here. A trust. Oh man, let's do this. This is one of my favorite topics. A trust. We're going to talk about a trust. And you got your Barron's book. A bunch of the link in the video description is going to help you to download the trust, my doc packet, as well as some other stuff. The trust is an agreement. Now I put to it. Did I do that? Nope. Here we go. It's an arrangement whereby property is transferred to a trusted third party, trustee. Okay. The trustee holds the property for the benefit of another, and that's going to be your beneficiary. That's us. All right. An arrangement whereby property is transferred to a trusted third party, the trustee, that's going to be your worker. The trustee holds the property for the benefit of another. It's going to be the beneficiary, which is you. Okay. So it's going to take you a little while. Now, don't beat yourself up. It took me 3 years from 2007 to 2010 for me to deploy these and implement them in my business. So for you, if you don't get this, and what I want you to remember is a land trust is nothing more than a way to take title to a piece of real property. Repeat after me. A land trust is nothing more but a way to take title to a piece of real property. Okay, now if you can get that in your mind and get over that hump, then all that foggy stuff about the declaration of trust, trustee beneficiary, assignment of beneficial interest, all that stuff goes away. Because all it is a deed, right? That's it. Way to take title to a piece of real property. Period. But you ain't gonna do it. You're gonna go over this class. You're gonna watch this class 6 or 7 times, this workshop here, and then you're gonna go out there. You're gonna say, it's just too hard. Damn it, Chris. I'm going to just do it the way I've been doing it because it's easier to do it that way, right? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are choosing to follow in the footsteps of the wealthy. I promise you, Walt Disney did not go down to Orlando and buy all those properties in Disney INC or Walt Disney's name. All right. I promise you didn't do it. He had some form of anonymity. Why? Because they would have raised the price on him. Okay. So that's the first moving part. There are three moving parts to a land trust. The first one is the trust agreement that we just went over there, the trust, and I'm going to go over how this, all the moving parts, how it works. You're going to see, I'm going to explain to you how it all works. All right. You got to get the definitions, and then we'll get into the moving parts of how it works. So the three parts to the land trust is your trust agreement, your trustee, right? Your trustee, and the beneficiary. That's you. The trust agreement, the trustee, and the beneficiary. Okay. So far, we went over the trust. So let's go over what is the trustee? Who is this trustee person, right? I like to refer them as my employee. They get paid. You got to pay these people, right? They're your employee. They're the ones out there in the front, taking all the bullets, signing all the documents, right? So the trustee is the one who holds property in trust for another to secure performance of an obligation. They are the neutral party in the trust deed transaction. Okay, neutral. They don't care. I'm going to show you a deal that I'm the trustee for a guy just the other day. I don't care what he's doing. All I'm doing is signing the paperwork, right? I don't care what you're doing, how much you're paying for it, who you're selling it to, who you're buying it from, how much you're borrowing, what's your interest rate. It's none of my business being the trustee. Okay, but the beneficiary is the one we'll go over next. So the trustee is the one out front, taking all the bullets, signing all the documents. They are on title along with the trust, right? So the trustee is your employee. You got to remember that. Okay. So the beneficiary. Now I kind of mixed these two together, and I'm disclosing that by the little dot there. Oh, did I already? No, I mixed the other one together. I mixed the trust together. Yeah. Your beneficiary, okay, is the person who receives or is to receive the benefits resulting from an ownership position or a contract. Okay. The person who receives or is to receive the benefits resulting from an ownership position in a contract or a contract. Okay. So you got that down. You got the three parts. It's only three parts. So you can go out there and get started, right? Okay. It's only three parts, y'all. That's it. You got it. All right. Make sure I got this thing all right. Right here. Yep. So make sure you've already downloaded your documents so you can follow along with us as we go through the docs so you don't miss anything. Okay. There's good stuff here. Do this. I'll be sharing my screen, going over that stuff with you. Okay. Okay. You got the three parts down. Your land trust agreement. Your land trust agreement, that is the documents, is 9 pages. We're going to go over that stuff in a minute. The trustee, that is I like to look at it. He's your employee out there taking all the bullets. You're in the back getting all the money, right? But you're paying your trustee to be in the forefront, taking all the bullets, signing all the papers. And last is your beneficiary. Now, the beneficiary is going to be you or your LLC. So, Chris, how does all this stuff work? Can you see? The thing about it is just the facilitation. How many times did I hear this before I started to actually deploy it? It's how it's facilitated to you, right? It's how it's explained to you so you can get out there and deploy this stuff. Okay, your trust agreement. How does this stuff work? Well, in real estate, generally speaking, the person that goes on the deed is the owner of the property. Generally speaking, but with land trust, the trust goes on the deed and you own the trust. Okay. So that's what's magical about land trusts, right? They're considered personal property and not real property. But the real property goes inside. It's almost like going to the store with a bag. You drop the groceries in, you hold a bag, but the groceries are inside the bag. I love it. So number one is a trust agreement. We have a house here, right? The house goes into the trust, right? And you are the beneficiary for the trust. You own the trust, right? You own the trust. Did I not put my little arrows right there? Wait a minute, I gotta put some arrows here. Missed my arrows. I'll be right back. I'm serious about this, y'all. I'm serious about your success. I want you to succeed on this. So I want to make sure I get it as simple as possible. All right. So here's a house. So what happens usually when we go to buy a house, right? What usually happens? One, two. Is that better? Sorry about that. I hit the stupid mic button here. Okay. So what usually happens when we buy a house? This thing's been my way. You buy the house, get the deed. Chris Haskins LLC owns the house. You go to closing, right? But with the land trust, the house goes into the trust and the beneficiaries own the trust. They don't own the house, right? What's so magical about that is because if the house is in a trust and the beneficiaries don't own the house, they just own the trust, then they are a complete ghost when it comes to the ownership on public record. Okay. So we got your LLC owns this document here. And this document, we're going to call it 123 Trust, right? Whatever you want to call it. So when they go do a search, 123 Trust owns this address here. Let's just call it 123. 123 Main. 123 Main Street. It's going inside of the trust. You own the trust. Okay. That is the magic. All right. So your land trust goes here. Your trust agreement, we will go over that. And number two is your trustee. Who is the trustee? In layman's terms, and the way I've sum it up, it's the person you trust, or an LLC you control. All right. So the trust agreement is the document, 9 pages. The trustee is the person that signs all the docs. That's a person you trust or an LLC that you control. They are nothing but an employee. That's it. So whenever I go to closing, let me take that back. Whenever we have a closing, because I don't even go, my trustee goes up there and he collects a check for closing it out. They email me all of the docs. I wire the funds or I drop a check off. And then the trustee shows up. Mr. Smitty shows up, signs all the docs, and it's over. Let me show you what one of the deeds looks like. And this is going to be in your packet there, so you'll see. So this is one. Let's go ahead and get to that. This is one where I'm the trustee for somebody, just so you can kind of get an understanding how this works, because I don't want y'all to miss this. So the deed, let me share my screen with you. I got a lot of mess open here. Sorry about that. Let's share my screen so y'all can see this. Share screen. Boom. Boom, boom there. All right, so you can see here's in a trust here. This is one we did a couple weeks ago. The deed made this 9th day of July, bond between Grantor. God, I'm sorry, y'all. Shoot. Oh, that's nasty. There we go. Bond between Grantor, who this was the seller there, party of the first, and grantee Chris Haskins, comma, trustee for the blank street land trust. Party of the second part, whose mailing address, and this is my mailing address. I don't know why they should have put his mailing address. I don't want to get their mail, but I do get it. So this is what your deeds looks like. So from time to time, this is not my property. Remember, I told you the trustee. I'm just the trustee. I do not care what the address is. I don't care what you're paying for it, how much you're borrowing, how much work needs to be done, who you're buying it from. All I'm doing, you see here, right in the deed, this is being on title for, oops, I'm being on title for the beneficiary. They give me a call up. They say, Chris, I need you to sign something. Cool. And sometimes they will just send a mobile notary right over here to my house and just sign right off on it. So that deed there, the seller signs the deed, but I've got to sign the trust and all that stuff. So the trustee, person you trust. Now let's stay here for a minute because I know a lot of you are like, oh, Chris, I don't trust anybody. My real estate roundup homies. First of all, I love you. I'm passionate about your success. You're going to have to find some people you trust. Now, yes, I will be your trustee. People hire me all the time. All the time. I'm not out here soliciting, looking for people to be trustees for. However, some people just don't trust anybody. So you mail it to me or you FedEx it to me. We sign it. We send it back to you. I'm done with it. All right. That's how it works for us. You don't have to use me. Use whoever you want. But the trustee should be a person that you trust. Now, ideally, it should not be somebody that has your same last name, because you saw that deed. My name goes on title. Right? My name's on title too. The trustee. Now, you have no idea who owns that property because it says Chris Haskins, comma, the 123 Street Trust. Right? That's what the deed looks like. So when you go down there, you're like, who in the heck owns this house? In order for you to find out, you're going to have a conversation with your pocketbook. That's how it works. I love it. So a lot of you guys are thinking, well, I don't trust anybody. If you don't, we can do it, but get some better friends, right? Just get some better friends. So I had a guy one time did a trust. He was putting his house in the land trust, and he goes, Chris, I got the land trust all set up, looking good. Boom, boom, boom. I take a look at it, and he is the trustee personally for his own land trust. I'm like, well, that's putting you on public record for your own property. Why would you want to do that, right? So I recommend not doing that, not putting your name as the benefit. Now, you can be the trustee, but I don't think that that's something that you want to do. You can do it, but it destroys your anonymity, which is the main reason why we do these, right? Okay, now the beneficiary. That's going to be you or your LLC. The beneficiary, remember we already went over the trust agreement. We're going to go over the pages of that in a minute. The trustee, person you hire. I just showed you the deed where I'm the trustee for somebody else. I don't mind doing that. It's my service to society, right? And then the beneficiary, this is the person that gets all the money. The beneficiary, the one that benefits from all transactions. So the beneficiary is in the back chilling, collecting checks, collecting rents, borrowing money, refinancing, getting the money from that. When they sell the property, the beneficiary gets all the money from that too. What else the beneficiary does? That money, they get the tax write-offs as well as the depreciation for the property. So the trustee gets none of that. Zero. Right? So the beneficiary is the one in the back chilling, collecting the money. Right? That's why I love trust. You got your doc, house goes into the trust. You have that document there, you downloaded it. Your trustee signs all that stuff for you. And then you get back here, collect checks. You collect checks, right? I love it. Isn't it cool when you understand real estate? I just love having conversations with people that understand real estate. It's so fulfilling. You don't got to teach all the time, every time you're doing something. Let's see. So in a minute now, we're going to go over some of the docs. But how do you write this stuff up? How do you write it? How do you actually put the property into the trust, right? So when you have identified a house that you want to buy, all you're going to do, let's just say I put my name. You're going to put your name. You're going to sign your trustee will sign their name on the contract because you got a trust. Let's say you're buying a house. It's the 123 Trust. You're going to sign the name, comma, trustee. Right? Let me show you again what mine looked like there. Add the stream. So this is see, they did the same thing. Oops. I'm messing this up again. Chris Haskins, right here, comma, trustee of the blank land trust. Okay. That's it. But when you do the purchase and sale agreement, you don't even have to put when the trustee signs, they just sign their name, right? So that's what your purchase and sales agreement, as you go to get a house under contract, a lot of people, including me, I was like, well, what do I put on a contract? Every time I ask people, who's the buyer? Who's the buyer? And they go, well, it's me. I'm like, I don't think you get it. Who's the buyer? Oh, it's 123 Trust. And how do we title them? We just do the address. How do we make the names? What I used to do before, I used to make it 123 Main Street Trust, just like this guy did. He did the Street Trust or Main Street Trust. Then we had so many of them layering them up, I couldn't remember the streets, right? So now all I do is I put 123 Trust. I don't want nobody to know anything about what we're doing, right? If they do, if they want to know, they can go hire an attorney. All right, so we're 25 minutes in. So we're going to be going over the documents, and we'll do some Q&A at the end. That's my favorite part, Q&A. And remember, members, get your questions in the chat. Members' questions will be answered first. If you want to join, right down there to help me continue to do content, just something for busy professionals and full-time entrepreneurs. I will get your questions answered first. Members only get questions answered first, okay? Let's see, so we got that. So you have a very overall understanding of how trusts work. This is what it took me so many years to put together. Trust agreement. You're the beneficiary. Your trustee works for you. All the money flows down through to the beneficiary. You don't need a tax ID. When you claim trust on your tax return, you use the same social security number or your tax ID that you use that owns the property. All right. So don't be going out there and calling your state, calling the IRS, trying to get an EIN number for a land trust. You don't need one. Okay. Don't overcomplicate it as us humans do. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. I have been audited from the IRS, so I know when they see the property that's in a trust, they're going to say, well, a trust owns this, Mr. Haskins. I have proof. And then there's a video. Matter of fact, I've been audited, and I went over that. I went over that audit in a video. I did have to show the IRS agent my trust agreement, which will show that I was the beneficiary. You can't depreciate a house that you don't own. If it's owned in the trust, who owns the trust? That's exactly what she wanted. She asked me, who owns the trust? So I know this is not, I'm speaking from, I'm like, I am the research. I am the research. I've been audited. So when she pulled it, I was depreciating my rental properties. And, we buy them subject to. So I didn't have any mortgage payments on those houses. And she wants to know, well, why are you claiming the interest on these houses and you're depreciating them when you don't own them? I'm like, you know what? That's a good question. That's a good question. And I can't answer that at this moment without having proof. Whenever you have something for the IRS, you better have some proof, right? Oh, I own those houses. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Prove it. Prove it. So all I did when I was in the getting my audit, okay, prove. I got to show the IRS that I own these houses. I had to show up with my land trust agreements, y'all. So this stuff's the real deal. So I've been up against the IRS with this stuff. And they passed. They allowed me to depreciate all the interest in somebody else's name. And they allowed me to, write off the interest and depreciate the property. So this stuff works. Okay. Now, all right. So you got the understanding of your land trust. Let's go over our docs so you can see how they work. This is good stuff. Round up. Make sure you can use that coupon code 25 off for a 25% off discount today only. Today only. It will go away tonight. Right? Why do I do that? Because I love you. I'm thankful that you support my channel. I'm thankful. Let's pull up the doc. The first document we're going to go over is going to be the land trust agreement. Your land trust agreement, aka your declaration of trust. This is where you outline all the duties and who's in charge of what, who's the trustee, and who's the beneficiary. So you know who are the players in this trust. All right. So let's share our screen. What's this copy? So with the document packet, what you're going to get is all the docs we're going to go over today. My trust agreement, my appointment of successor trustee. That's where you have to fire a trustee and hire a new one. What if you want to sell your land trust? You're going to have the assignment of beneficial interest, and you get a blank copy of my deed, a couple deeds, so you see what they look like, and you're going to get a copy of a purchase contract, so you'll see what does it look like when it's on the contract. You also get the warranty deed to trustee. That's if you already own the property. Sometimes, like if you're anything like me, I bought houses back in the day, oh 07, 8, 9. It is infinitely harder. Let me tell you, it's infinitely harder to take houses out of your name and put them in the trust than it is to buy them from inside a trust initially. Let me repeat that. It is so much more hard, so much more difficult once you own the property in your name, because the mortgage companies want you to have them in your name, to transfer them after you own them into a trust than if you were to put it in a trust from the jump. Right? It's just so difficult because you don't have to do it. You just don't got to do it. So it's just lags on, lags on. I remember I owned this property since 2006. I didn't transfer it into a trust until 2016. 10 years later. Crazy. I still got a few now that are in my name, unfortunately, like a dummy. I'm guilty of it too. It's just harder to do. You don't have to do it. Blank land trust. Okay, let's do this. So the first doc we're going over is going to be your actual land trust, right? That's your document right here. Let's go over this together. Get your questions in, y'all. Get your questions. My land trust agreement, right? 9 pages. Man, this is juicy. So what you're going to do, you'll take this document into your attorney or title company and say, this is what I want to put. I want to put this house in this trust. You're going to turn in the purchase and sales agreement when you're buying, as well as this trust. Okay. I'm going to go over a few. I'm not going to go over all 9 pages. I'm going to go over a few highlights, and then we'll get to Q&A. You or your company name goes right here as grantors, beneficiaries, hereinafter collectively referred to as the beneficiaries, whether one or more, which designation shall include all successors in interest of any beneficiary, just in case you want to sell your trust. And your trustee, who are the moving parts in this? Who are the moving parts? The beneficiary and your trustee. It's going to be somebody you trust. As trustee, whose address is mailing address for your trust, and shall include any successor trustees. All right. Number 1, declaration of trust. Remember, that's what we said earlier. The trust created by the grantors herein shall be known as, I recommend you just to put the street number trust. If you're buying 123 Easy Street, 123 Main Street, let me take that back. You do what you like, but I'm telling you what we do. We do the 123 trust, hereinafter referred to as the trust. The purpose of this trust. The purpose of this trust shall be to hold title. Remember, we said at the beginning of our training, nothing but a way to take title to a piece of real property. Hold title to the trust property and to protect and conserve it until its sale or other disposition or liquidation. That's it. Just to take title to the property. The interest of the beneficiaries, the persons named in the attached Exhibit B, we're going to go over that in a minute, are the beneficiaries of this trust, and as such shall be entitled to all earnings. Oh man, I love that word, all earnings. It's 2 words. All earnings. We get the rent, we get the down payments, we get the refinance money. The right to direct the trustee to convey. We let the trustee know what to do. The right to participate in the management of the property, and the right to receive the proceeds and avails from the rental, sale, mortgage, or other disposition, all right, are outlined right there. The powers and the duties of the trustee. The trustee shall not record this agreement or the name of any of the beneficiaries in any place of public record. Make sure y'all can see this. Yeah, y'all getting this. Unless ordered by a court order. Remember, we said land trusts are not for asset protection. So what's going to happen, y'all? Somebody comes and knocks on your trustee's door. They can't release the information, but if they get a court order, then they're going to have to spill the beans, all right? So land trust is your first line of defense. That's why back here, we back it up with an LLC. We back it up. So land trust, your name, 123 Trust. Beneficiaries, LLC, that's where you get your asset protection, which I'm not covering today. That's where your attorney steps in for that. Give me a thumbs up, y'all. If you are enjoying this, give me a thumbs up. This is one of my favorite topics because a lot of people, they tell you how to get houses under contract, but how do you make sure you're doing it the right way? Putting the right name on there. The trustee can actually mortgage. They can mortgage the whole or any part of the trust property. They can borrow money, give notes. The trustee shall have the following powers with the consent of the beneficiaries To purchase the property, remember we already know that. To sell the property at public or private sale, to barter or exchange or dispose of it otherwise, any part or whole of the property. They can rent it out. This is the trustee now. All right, remember we are under powers and duties of the trustee, which is your employee, which is why it is so crucial. Oh, my Lord. It is so important that you have a trustee that you trust. They can rent out or lease the whole or part of the property. All right, you can read some of the stuff the trustee can do. We're going to stay here just for a minute. We're going to go over the trustee in one more minute. Yeah. Compensation of the trustee. The beneficiaries jointly and severally agree that the trustee shall receive the sum of $100. That's what we pay our trustee. A one-time fee for his or her services as trustee hereunder. Now, the liability of the trustee. A lot of people say, well, what if my trustee goes out there and he gets $1 million judgment for crashing and crashes into some grandma and hurts her, and they get all these hospital bill judgments against them. All obligations incurred by the trustee hereunder shall be the obligations of the trust only and not the individual trustee. The trustee shall not be required to enter into any personal obligations or liability in dealing with the trust property. All right, so the trustee has no liability on the trust. Removal of trustee. Beneficiaries shall have the power to remove a trustee from his office or appoint a successor to succeed him or her at any time. So you're going to get that document. It's called the appointment of successor trustee, just in case. Your trustee has some power, y'all. Your trustee has some power. We're going to go over that in a minute. Hold on. Yeah. Your trustee they may resign their office within 30 days of written notice to the beneficiaries. Because not all relationships are forever, right? Just don't know. The trustee has some power. Now, they can go out there and mortgage your property, right? Here's your trust. Your trustee got some real power, y'all. They can sign every document on behalf of this land trust here. So don't sleep on that. I don't want you going out there having a relationship, ex-spouse, your current spouse, ex-girlfriend, fiance, all that stuff, being your trustee. And the next thing you know, you calling me up, Chris, they sold my house. Now, we don't use trust. Let me preface this, y'all. We don't use trust to get around obligations. I had a guy call me one time getting a divorce. Chris, I want to put some houses in a trust so I don't have to put them in my divorce. We don't do that. We operate our businesses at the highest rate of, at the highest level of integrity. Okay, and I want you to do that too. I didn't get here in front of you right now by operating with low integrity. It's just not going to happen, and I don't want to be included in anything like that. So be above board. Don't use this stuff for the purposes of evil, y'all. Step up, handle your obligations. Okay. Man. Okay, moving along in our trust. What have we got here? Oops. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. Let me get this down. We'll go to assignment now. We're still on our trust agreement. That's the first download. The assignment, the interest of a beneficiary or any part of that interest may be transferred only by written agreement. So you can transfer your beneficial interest. We're going to get into that in a minute. Individual liabilities of trustee. The trustee should have no individual liability or obligation whatsoever arising from his ownership in the capacity as trustee of the legal title to the trust property. That just means he can go out there. I'm telling you from personal experience, I've had a trustee have to file bankruptcy, had no effects on any of my trust properties, right? None of it. No problems. The people that are doing this, if you're selling a property, they aren't even going to ask for any financials from your trustee. They don't care. They want the beneficiary. Governing law, this agreement and all transactions contemplated hereby shall be governed by, construed and enforced in accordance with the laws of the state of. Just put your state. Don't put Virginia in here. Whatever your state is, round up. You guys calling me up. What about Virginia? No, you're not in Virginia. And finally, last 2 pages. Here we go. Man, this stuff is so sweet. Finally, how do we sign the beneficiary? So we sign, when I'm generally speaking, I'm putting this in an LLC. So I sign my name, comma, managing member or man member, right? And then the trustee signs their name. And I've even taken it forward. I got that from my boy. The trustee can just put their first initial period. I thought that's so cool. Then last name, comma, trustee. That's how the trustee can sign too. Exhibit A is nothing but your property address. And then page 9, exhibit B is nothing but the real names of you or your company, your beneficiary. Right? So you got it. You got it, y'all. I'm happy for you. So we went over the full trust agreement. Not the full. I went over the highlights so you don't need to read all it. I mean, what are you going to do? Read all this stuff and then go in there to the closing company and explain it to them. Now, I will tell you, a lot of attorneys and closing companies aren't going to understand. Took me 3 to 4 years to find a title company that even understands land trust. So don't be calling me up, Chris. You can't do this in my state. Oh yeah, I can't tell you how many states I've done it in. I haven't done it in all, but you're gonna have to find the right people. I mean, how many phone calls do I get? Chris, you can't do this here. I'm like, just got to find the right people. Now, some states, or I don't know, it's 1 or 2 states, you might have to list the beneficiaries as well, which I don't like that. But hey, your attorney will let you know how that works. Get your questions in, y'all. Get your questions in so we can get this thing knocked out. Okay, the next document we're going to go over. What if you're a trustee? Well, let's do this. What's the next one? Standard. I'll show you a copy in the doc package that you're getting. I'm going to show you a copy of one of my deeds. You saw that first one there. Let's show you a copy of another deed here. So we have a trustee land trust training. Oh, I can show you this too. This is how letters come in the mail. Oh, this is cool here. So I got a letter in the mail. I don't know why they have me as their mailing address. So I got this letter the other day. Chris Haskins, remember how it gets titled. Chris Haskins is a trustee for the land trust. That's my mailing address. So I'm getting the mail here. They wanted to mail this trust something, but remember, the owner of the trust is completely anonymous. So they've sent me the deed. Isn't that weird? It's crazy how the beneficiary is really in the back chilling. So I got to call. That's why I don't get the mail to my mail. You use your own mailing address, but I have to call the beneficiaries and mail them the deeds and stuff that comes to my address, right? And thank you so much. I forgot to say again, thank you all for your emails and your concerns and your correspondences during this challenging time for me. My friend committed suicide. It's been a rough one for me for the last week. I'm doing this to get my mind off of that stuff too. So I want to repeat to you guys, thank you for all of the emails that you send me, helping me get, and all the perspectives that you have laid on me regarding dealing with a personal suicide, right? It's just a crazy time, crazy world that we're in these turbulent times, right? So thank you so much, Roundup, for thinking about me. Okay, the next thing what if you want to, so a lot of wholesalers, when we were doing a bunch of REOs, if you want, you can wholesale the property without taking it out of the trust. So what if you want to sell your interest? What if you want to sell your interest in the trust? So let's do that first. Because did you know you could sell the property without even changing title? So this is going to be the standard assignment of beneficial interest. This is in your doc pack. This addendum made this blank date, whatever, address, legal description between blank assignor and assignee. Assigner agrees to assign his rights and beneficial interest to purchase the said contract to assignor for a fee of $5,000. Right? So you're assigning your beneficial interest over. Wholesalers, I know a lot of you guys saying, I want to assign the land trust over. All you're doing is as opposed to doing a standard assignment, you're just doing an assignment of beneficial interest. So you get this document, and then you just sign it. You have your trustee sign it, and your new buyer, and it's over. That's simple. So you're assigning your interest into your interest of the land trust to the new buyer, as opposed to signing the contract over. You're going to keep that contract in the name of the trust, right? I highly recommend that too. That's what we do. I try to keep it in a trust, and you can sell a trust too. Somebody can give you 10 grand. You give them the trust. So many ways you can do it without having to pay any closing cost. Now you will have to report that to the IRS because it is considered a taxable event. But if you can just sell the trust over without having to go to closing. You got no recording fees. It comes with title insurance. You don't have to do that. No closing fees, no attorney fees, none of that stuff, man. So land trusts are powerful, powerful. All right. So the next thing, this is when you have a property in your name already and you want to get it out of your name. But I recommend you to let the title company or attorney prepare the deeds for you. This deed for good consideration made this blank day between blank here and after the grantors and blank here and after the trustee. So this is the grantor, which will be you. You're just deeding it to your trustee. And the trustee will take title on your behalf. Put your property address there, sign it, date it. It's over. Now, I don't recommend you practicing law. I don't recommend you creating your own deeds. You have these so you can show the title company, but let them create the deed for you. Okay, just let them do it. So you can transfer the title out of your name into the trust with the trustee being on title. Remember your trustee. You want somebody, your trustee. Let's stay here for a minute. You want your trustee to have a different last name because let's say Joe Haskins is my trustee, and then somebody looks up, they do a search for Joe Haskins, and then they just happen to stumble upon Haskins, and they see Chris has got all this real estate. Could it be out of the realm of possibility that they go do a search on me too? That's why we never use trustees that have the same last name as us, right? So we don't want any relationship, any type of connection between your trustee and you. All right. So keep that in mind. And the last document you're going to get is going to be your appointment. Oh, sorry about that. Appointment of successor trustee, appointment of land trust replacement trustee. All this says is the beneficiaries represent that they are all in 100%, which you are, to that certain declaration of trust and land trust agreement. The same thing, dated whatever date you got, which is known as your name, your trust name, 123 Trust, and they hereby replace whatever. Let's just say B Jones as the current trustee and appoint C Black as your new trustee, whose address is blank. That's it. That's it. And if you want, you can ask your title company to do a deed of correction. That way you have the new trustee on title, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that, right? So your trustee, sometimes things don't work out and they might want to go rogue and go try to refinance your property. That's why you got to have somebody you trust. And sometimes they might say they just move out of the area or they get taken to the afterlife. Anything could happen. So that's why you need a way to replace the current trustee, put your new one in there. And you don't need the trustee's approval to do that. All right, we'll wind it down now. We got 100 people here. I know you guys, it's kind of challenging to learn this stuff. I know it's not the most exciting stuff, but for me it is. I love it. To be able to own a house that's not in your name, but you get all the benefits, get to depreciate it, get to do all the interest deductions, all the income. Man, that's cool. That is cool. We never take title in our names. We never take title in our company names, right? So in our LLC's name. If you can get past that, you are on your journey to true financial freedom and wealth. Okay. It's good stuff. 100 people here. This is really cool. All right. So listen, you've got it down. 3 moving parts. 1, the trust agreement. We went over that. And let me remind you that in the video description below, you can download with 25% off, use the code 25 off, all my land trust docs, my land trust document packet. And you see my deeds. You've seen 2 deeds. I put 2 deeds in there so you can see what it looks like. And let me show you a contract. What does a contract look like? Sample. Thought I put one in there. Deed to trustee. Oh, there we go. This is so sweet. So when you go to sell a house, it looks like this. This is a contract with a house that we had. I don't know. We just sold it. So this agreement, This is us. What am I? I'm the buyer on this one. So no. I'm the seller. I'm sorry. I'm selling this one. So the buyer's that's the buyer up there, between them and the Kenmore Trust, which is us, right? The Kenmore Trust. So that's what it looks like when you're on a purchase and sales agreement. It's the Kenmore Trust. And then at the end of the document is where you have the trustee sign. So the trustee doesn't have to put their name and the trust. They just sign on behalf of the trust. Their name, trustee. And I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna add that in. They're gonna put B period last name trustee. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Start doing that. K. Haskins, comma trustee. Give me a thumbs up if y'all like that one. That was cool. I forgot all about that one. I was using that. So now, from now on, you know how to buy houses out of your name without having them in your company name. Now, before I get to Q&A, you may be getting a mortgage, or the lender may require you to put your name on title at closing. Did you know the next day you can just transfer it out into a trust? It doesn't have to stay. Just because you bought it in your name doesn't mean you can't transfer it the next day. Do a transfer. Even if you buy it in your name, doesn't mean you have to keep it in your name, okay? So I've done it. Transfer it right over. The lender doesn't care. There is no lender looking around who's transferring properties into trusts. They aren't there. You transfer it over, done, finished. So download your docs. You can rewind this video and follow along so you can learn this stuff and then share it with your family. Share it with other people so we can get the word out. I want my people to be financially literate as well. Future topic. All the ways you can buy probate property subject to. That might be cool. Who was that? Michael. Michael, thanks for that, my friend. Got Arkansas. Troy, what up? Helping hands. Can the trustee be incarcerated? Helping hands. Absolutely. Your trustee could get hit by a bus. They could move on to the afterlife, struck by lightning, go to jail. That's why we have the appointment of successor trustee doc. It's included in your document packet. J, so it doesn't have to be an attorney. I'm not sure if I understand that one. What attorney are we talking about there? I must have missed that one. Jay, I missed that one. No, your attorney didn't have to fill that out. Helping hands. If your trustee gets incarcerated, if your trustee goes to jail, you got bigger problems than getting him. You see why people you rolling with is going to jail, dog. Okay, so we'll keep that. Thank you for that laugh. I needed that one. 4 eyes. Does the four-eyed lady original? Does the trustee need to be a W-2 employee or an independent contractor on a 1099? Good question. Well, for us, since it's $100, we put it right on the HUD when we go to closing. So the trustee goes to closing, he brings a check or he signs all the HUD and all that stuff, and he gets his check right on the HUD, and the title company will cut that check. So it's actually not even coming from you. It's coming from the proceeds of the purchase price. That is an excellent question, four-eyed original lady. Is that four-eyed lady original? Four-eyed lady original. That is a tongue twister. Yeah, we don't give him a W-9. But yeah, since you're doing them right on the HUD, the title company will report that stuff. So you don't have to worry about that. Iron Revelation. Why do not you just get an irrevocable trust? I don't know too much about them. I'm sure it might be something that I would need to learn, my friend. I don't have all the answers. The reason I do land trusts is because they're simple, easy. They flow right through to the beneficiary's tax ID. I set it up, buy the house. When I sell the house, it's done, dead. So irrevocable trust, and irrevocable trust is not living. Yeah, that's above my pay grade on that. Rabbit Runner. If the trustee resides out of state, I like that. How do they sign at closing and all other closing documents required at the title office? That is an excellent question. Rabbit Runner 22. So you got two ways you can do it. If they live out of town, which I have to deal with, you can FedEx it. So they get it, they sign, send it back. Well, yeah, that's probably the only way because they have to have a wet signature. I don't know why in the United States right now you can't do a virtual deed yet. Let me take that back. You might be able to. So the first way, you just FedEx it. They get it the next day, they send it back, and it's over. All right? We do it all the time. A land trust is living. It might be. There you go. That's true. Queen Muhammad. Land trust is living. When you sell the property, it's dead. There you go. You got it, Queen. You got it. You know what? You already know this stuff probably. Queen. Jay, that's why lawyers usually do it or a land trust company. Might be. Mangus. Mr. Chris, is it feasible or better to have a land trust and irreconcilable trust account to mingle? I don't know what that one is, my friend. Getting too complicated. All we're using for land trust is to take title to the property, okay? That's it. Hey, Al, how does the money flow collecting payments? Some attorneys say the trust needs a tax ID and bank account. Oh, Lord. And funds can't flow directly to the beneficiaries. Brother, every time. Now, I will tell you, I have to fight attorneys on this when I sell houses sometimes because they want to cut the check out to the trust. I don't know why they want to do that. But we can get around that. We got a form we fill out. But the rent comes to us, the down payment comes to us, right? If we refi, the money will come to us, the beneficiaries. I don't know why the attorney would want you to have a tax ID for the trust. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a pass-through entity, a flow-through entity. All the action goes right through to the beneficiary. Okay. I don't know why they would. I don't know why they want that. Queen, for an out of state, how can they do a flash closing with a mobile notary? Yeah, mobile notary, they can send all the docs over. Yeah, that's a good point. That is the second way, yeah. As opposed to FedExing all the docs. Well, you have to scan them to the notary. That's wherever the location is, Queen Muhammad. And then they could print them out. You still got to FedEx them back though. Brianna, seems like it's bad to be a trustee. How do you ask someone to be a trustee? What? People ask me all the time. I mean, you just sign a paper. I have no concern when people ask me to be trustee. I don't care what they're doing with the property. It's not my concern. All I do is show up, boom, boom, let's sign a paperwork, and I'm done. Brianna, don't be scared to be a trustee. You're just doing somebody a favor. You're helping out the community by helping this person get off of title, right? So you are literally just walking in, signing, and it's done. Don't worry about it. Don't be scared. And you make $100. Helping hands. How does the paperwork work? Bank account, escrow documents. Will my beneficiary be my Cali LLC? Helping hands. You can have your beneficiary however you want. I don't know. Somebody told me that you couldn't do this in Cali. I'm like, I got clients doing it. And Maryland, I got people doing it, yo. So, bank account, none of that stuff's matter. Round up, paperwork for the bank account, escrow documents, none of that stuff matters because it's a flow through entity. Bank account is going to be yours, right? Bank account. Escrow is going to be, what is it? Well, out in Cali, escrow. The name of it is the trust, but it all flows through here, my friend. That's it. Oh, Stanley, you back, my man. Stanley, you in trouble. I remember you. Stanley, you're the don't trust anybody guy. This ain't gonna work for you. This ain't gonna work. Stanley, if you don't trust anybody, you will not be able to use land trusts unless you're gonna be your own. See, let me tell you what some people do. They can be their own trustee, or they have an LLC. So you got ABC ABC company as a trustee. You're the owner of that, so you sign. And then you got 123 company as the beneficiary. You're the owner of that, and you sign. But still, man, you got two LLCs. You got to keep up with yearly paperwork. You got to do taxes, tax returns. So for me, I just want to have a person sign it, done. But you can create a dummy LLC to be your trustee if you want. You don't trust anybody, right? Golly, Stanley, you got me taking me out of my game. Helping hands. What about the loan docs? Good question. Generally speaking, the loan docs your trustee will sign. And if your lender requires you to do a personal guarantee, you will have to sign personally for that, right? But you are not on the. You won't actually. Let me think. How did I do it? You won't be on the deed. Your trustee will be on the deed, but you'll be. That's right. You'll be on the note personally because they're gonna do that. Yes, who signed the loan docs? That's right. So your lender, I have a lender here locally, a bank. They'll let me buy in a trust, but I have to come in and sign personally for the debt. So The debt is in my name and the trust name, so they can come after both of us. But the deed still is in my land trust. Mangus, if you already have the land, would you name the land trust as the trust or irrevocable trust? Yeah, I would just name it as the trust, my friend. Oh yeah, Chris Property Data. If you round up, there's a bunch of resources in the video description. Chris Property Data is I've negotiated a discount for you with PropStream. You can go and I don't know how you would even do business without PropStream. You can do skip tracing, you can find probate, you can find liens, you can find mortgage information, owners, phone numbers, owners, at mailing address, who owns it, how many properties do they own, how many pre-foreclosures there are. So much stuff with PropStream. And if you just go to chrispropertydata.com, we'll take you right to that. Thank you for reminding me on that. Stanley, so where do we take the trust to get it started? You take it to your title company when you're ready to go close your next house, my friend. Rabbit Runner. What address should appear on title for county tax records? Address on title. Are you talking about on the deed? I'm not following you on that, Rabbit Runner 22. What address should appear on title? Because the address of the house is there. Let me ask you, what address are you talking about, Rabbit Runner 22? Shelby, I need to close on a property in September. I need the kid. There you go. This is why I knew. It's so crazy when I started learning this. I'm like, you mean people don't? I didn't have any idea. I'm like, people need to know this stuff. So when they buy, they're not putting these houses in their name, right? So this is why we do this. Stanley, how do you get paid? Do you need the bank account in the trust? No, we went over that already. Will land trust work in all states? So far, to my knowledge, yes. I haven't done them in every state. To my knowledge, they work. Now, some of them work differently. You got to have some different disclosures, but your attorney will help add that to your land trust doc pack. Okay. Brianna, how many times have my trustee been bothered? Been bothered? Well, they send the tax bills to the trustee's address, just like I just got a tax bill, but nobody bothers them. Jay Stewart. Okay, so you then drop it into yep, that's how it works. Land trust, beneficiary owns the trust, my friend. You're getting it. You're getting it. Patricia, hey Chris, I'm enjoying the presentation. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. That's my mission. On Revelation, why give trustee any power? Well, you want to keep your name off of record. So that's why they have the power. Patricia, thank you so much. Queen Muhammad, why is it necessary to take the trust agreement to a title attorney? Well, let me tell you. So you've got this. Let me finish. Or is it? Can you just fill this all out by yourself and notarize along with the trustee? Absolutely. You can have the trust all filled out. But when you go to you're going to walk into your title company and you're going to say, "Here, Mr. Title Company, I need to close this purchase and sales agreement." The buyer is 123 Trust. They're going to say, "Okay, well, Miss, who is that? Queen Muhammad Ali, who is 123 Trust? Who are what is it? Is it a revocable trust? Is it what kind of trust is it? There's so many of them: revocable, irrevocable, land trust. Is it a grantor trust? I don't know." Then that's when you say, "Ah, gotcha. Got my trust filled out already, Mr. Attorney." Bam. So let them take it from there. Yes, you can do that, Queen Muhammad. You get the trust already, take it into them. Because generally what happens is if you want to buy in a trust, the attorney, they're going to say, "Come on in. That'll be $1,000. They're going to prepare the trust for you, but here you have it. You have it already. You get it all filled out. That's right. So you can't just go in there and say, "I want to close this deal. I got this purchase and sales agreement. The buyer is 123 Trust." You got to prove it. You got to show them that you're the beneficiary and this is the trustee, right? They don't know that stuff. So how do we get paid? You get paid by you conduct business just like you would if you own the property personally. Diane, am I sharing a copy of these? Absolutely. In the video description below, there's a link. You can download all of my land trust document packet. Comes with all the docs we just discussed here. My land trust, my appointment of successor trustee, the standard assignment of beneficial interest, and you're also going to get a couple of my deeds so you can see what it looks like. Hey, Chris, how do we get paid when we sell the house? The closing attorney or title company will cut a check to the beneficiary, my friend. Damn, sorry to hear about my friend. Thank you. Yeah, my boy committed suicide, guys. Thank you. Man, you guys have been. That's why I love you guys, man. You guys really showed up for your boy. I got to tell you, it's no joke. It's no joke. Let me just keep it moving on that. Keep it moving. It's no joke. I just remember the dude sleeping on my couch, man. I'm gonna do a video on this so y'all know the story was that. Nobody teaching this. I know. That's why it's my obligation, my friend. It's my obligation. Blaze TV channel. Can you please recommend a trust attorney? Nope. Blaze, that's why I'm further. I haven't told you all this. I'm contemplating getting my law degree. I'm like, it's such a need, y'all. Such a need for my people to be able to do this stuff. Because right now, where you gonna go to close one of these? Where you gonna go? Very few people. I'm contemplating that. I'd like to know your opinion on that too. Helping Hands. What about utility bills? Where do they go? My LLC. Okay, good question. Helping Hands, utility bills. So if you go in there, say you go to the power company or the water company, and they pull it up, they might see that the trust owns the property. So then you will have to show them your trust agreement. Your trust agreement. They go to the last page, see the beneficiary, you're good, right? Hopefully they can do it based on your word, but yes, you may have to show the utility company your land trust agreements. That's a good question, Helping Hands. What about old child support? Stanley, I ain't messing with you. You better pay it. Four-Eyed Lady Original. Why do you want trustee to take title? Why not have an LLC? You can. You can. But I don't want my LLC on public record, Four-Eyed Lady. So let me show you what my deed looks like. When you download the land trust docs, you'll see what are my deeds. Blank warranty deed. Hold on. So this is what the deed looks like. So you have a deed. Let me show you one that doesn't have my name. That way you can see it better. I just happened to show you all the one that had my name, which you don't have to use my name. Deed. So I'm trying to find one of my deeds. Oh, there it is, sample deed. So here's another one here. So here's one we did. I'm gonna share with you the screen. Four-Eyed Lady. So here's a deed that we did. So I own this house, right? But here's the deed says, I bought it from Cheryl. The grantor is Todd Smith, trustee for the 1108 Trust. Remember I told you we take title in the street number trust? This has nothing to do with Chris Haskins. Nothing, right? That's my mailing address, but my name isn't on it. That's my company name on that. So that's why we take, this is the deed, y'all. See the deed? This is why we take title in the trust and not our company name. So if I was the grantee, it would have my company name here, but I wanted to have my trust name because I don't want my LLC on public record because generally speaking, in most states, you can go down to the courthouse or do a quick search on the internet to the State Corporation Commission and find out who the registered agent is. And then the rabbit hole starts to open. All right. So that's why we don't put our LLC on trust. But you can, Four-Eyed Lady. I'm not saying you got to do this stuff. I'm just telling you what I've learned since doing this since 2004. Queen Muhammad, some states do not have titles, only purchase agreements. Do I make a purchase agreement between myself and the trust? I need to take property out of my name. If you already own the house, then you use the warranty deed to trustee. But if you go to your Queen Muhammad, if you go to your title company, you're going to say, I have this property. Here's the trust. I want to transfer my property from my name into the trust. Let them take it from there. Let them do their job on that. Helping Hands, can you take away some of the power of the trustee so they can't sell your house? Let me give you a secret on that one. What I do, I'm going to tell you this is a little bit advanced, right? So say, for instance, if your trustee goes rogue and he's like, that old Chris, he stinks. I'm going to refinance the house or sell it. What you can do is borrow a little bit of money on that property. That's what we do. We put a deed of trust against the property. So they have to notify the lender before they transfer title. So if you put the deed of trust against the property, and you can even borrow some money from yourself. I'm not going to get into that now, but if you want to borrow money from another entity, that way, if the trustee goes to sell it, the buyer is going to do a title search. They're going to see a lien against the house. They're going to contact the lien holder, the mortgage company, and then they will contact you to get a payoff. And then you'll know what's going on. Why is my trustee trying to sell my house? Roundup. The link is in the video description below for you to download all of my Tyrone, California, completely over. Everywhere is overpriced now, my friend. Everywhere is overpriced. As a trustee for others, do I charge a fee? Yes, I charge $200. $200. It's just, I do it. Yes, I will do it. I do it. I do it because I love you, and I want to see you implement this thing. If you don't have anybody you trust, I will do it. So what usually happens, people will scan all the docs to me. I'll go to the notary and FedEx it back to you, wherever you are. I've done it for Florida, Cali, Maryland, Pennsylvania. So, Clay, what's up? I purchased the files. I'm excited. Yes, sir. Georgia, what will I need to file? Only thing you're going to file is the deed. Oh, yeah. The 9-page land trust document, the land trust agreement, does not get recorded anywhere. Therefore, no one knows who the beneficiary is. Okay. My land trust sits right over there in my file cabinet. You don't want to be recording that because you don't want people to know who's on title, right? Don't be recording your land trust agreement, only the deed. Jerry, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friend. David, can the beneficiary be a charity set up by your LLC? Absolutely. The beneficiary can be whomever you want it to be, David. Queen Muhammad, is it smart to have multiple beneficiaries like an LLC and family members? You can. I've got houses where my IRA is the beneficiary, my wife's IRA is the beneficiary, and I'm part beneficiary. So you can have as many as you want. It'll be, let's see, what's that? 20%, 20%, 60%. So that way, on page 9, let me share with you the land trust agreement. On page 9, all you would do here, so this is page 9. Let me see. Yeah, page 9 of your land trust beneficiaries, you would have your name. I need to type that in here. 100%. You can put your next, say this, that'll be 50% here, and then next person, or whoever, 50%, whatever it is. Okay. So that's a good question there. Who asked that? Queen Muhammad. I want to call you Queen Mother. Queen Muhammad. Jerry, I'm looking at a house subject to for my personal living. Should I buy this in a land trust? Oh my Lord. Jerry, you messing with me. 100% without exception. We always buy houses in trusts. I don't care the house that I live in. I used to have clients come to my house. I remember a few times they do a search, because my address, you can go right down to the city assessor and see who owns it. They wanted to know, Chris, you don't own your own house. I'm like, you're daggone right, I don't own it. It's in a trust. Why would I want to own it in my name? Right? I remember them like it was yesterday. I'm like, you're doing a good job doing your research. Check on your boy. Make sure that I'm on the up and up. You're daggone right. It's not my name. Why would I want to do that? Not my name. Yes. Owner occupied in a trust. Yes. Brianna, so you can use your LLC for the trustee and then you can be the beneficiary? Yes, you can. Rabbit Runner, county tax records need a mailing address, which also shows publicly. That's right. Oh, that's what you were talking about with the address. You can put your trustee's address or just get a mailing address. Dr. Botanica, does land trust take precedence over a Lloyd-Deal title? You're talking above me on that one. I'm sorry, my friend. Four-eyed lady, do land trust documents vary state to state? Enforceable. See, here's the thing. No one is going to ask you to enforce this stuff. All you're doing is taking title. No one cares. Unless you get sued, then you're going to have to deal with that. So that's between you and your attorney. You're going to turn your land trust. You don't have to get mine. Get whatever it is, whatever state you're in. Mangus, Chris, thank you. You did answer my question. Good for you. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me, Mangus. Queen Muhammad, I meant for my properties that I already own. Is it necessary to get a title attorney? I don't think a title attorney, but you do need to get a title company. to do your deed. You turn in that trust. You're going to say, please transfer my house from me into this trust, please. And then be quiet. Let them do their magic. Lemuel, can you set up a trust after purchasing from a foreclosure auction? Yes. Or is it better to have one already before the auction? Let me tell you what I did, what I do. So when you go to the foreclosure auction, you have to sign paper or whatever. You can always assign it over to your trust before closing. Let me repeat that. Say, for instance, if you have a deal in your name, a contract to purchase in your name, you can assign it, use an assignment to sign it to your trust for $0. I, Chris Haskins, am assigning the purchase and sales agreement 123 Easy Street, signing it over to the 123 Trust for $0. Okay, so you can always do that. That's what I've had to do several times. I can't tell you how many times I've had to do that. Good gracious. Oh, Lemuel, thank you for one of my members. Can you set up a trust after purchasing? Oh, yeah. So I just did that when I'm bugging. Thank you for being one of our members, Lemuel. Lemuel. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm doing my best, y'all. Ashley. You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. Chris, got to stop contemplating. Oh, shit. You've been following me. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Can mailing address be a P.O. box? Absolutely. Jeffrey, if you buy a house with a family member, who can write off the taxes and depreciation if two people are named as the beneficiary? That is above me on that one. You get your accountant on that one, Jeff. I'm sorry. Mangus, if you don't have a company or LLC, only a person, could the land trust have an address at a P.O. box? Absolutely, my friend Stanley. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. This is college. I'm mad at college right now. Roundup, if you're hanging out, if you are enjoying this, make sure you hit the thumbs up button as well as download your document packet. There's a bunch of other resources in the video description that will help you with your real estate business. Right there, Chris Property Data is going to give you a discount to PropStream. You can do all the searches you want, skip tracing, find mortgage information, probate leads, pre-foreclosures, all that stuff at chrispropertydata.com. And the land trust document packet will be on sale. If you use the code 25OFF, you can get it for 25% off today only. Today only. And if you miss today, you can always get it another day. It's only a few $100. Darisha, when do I begin doing the land trust process? Do I start the process after paying off the seller's mortgage, or what? Or do it when they sign the sub-to contract? You set up this is your purchase and sales agreement, right? Who is that? Darisha. You get the house under contract. Boom, right after that, then you set up your land trust agreement. So you got 1, 2, 3 trust on the paper, on the contract. Then you're going to have to turn in the 1, 2, 3 trust agreement for the title company or attorney to understand who the buyer is, right? Because you always got to think about this stuff. Get in the mindset. Who's my buyer? Don't consider you're not the buyer. Who's my buyer? The 1, 2, 3 trust is. Okay. Well, who's the 1, 2, 3 trust? Well, here's the trust agreement that explains all that, right? That's the biggest part. Number one. Nikita, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Please hit the thumbs up, guys, for your boy. Isha Cooper. Isha, hey, Isha. Do you use different names for each property trust? Absolutely. Every one of them, we use the address number. So you got the 1, 2, 3 trust, the 4, 5, 2 trust, the 1104 trust. Every trust gets the street number, name, trust. That's it. I used to do the address trust, but I don't even want to do that anymore. Brianna, please become an attorney. We need more people. You're right. Thank you for helping me with that. Cliff Montgomery. I'm not going anywhere yet, y'all. I just want to make sure you take some time to subscribe to your boy's channel. I'm out here working for y'all. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. So for optimization purposes, this thing's really got me buff. Getting your boy big. Get big. Can I create a single member LLC? Yes. When the living revocable trust is the sole member. That I do not know. I do not know about that one. I'm sorry. Wow. Thank you. Who is this? 13 million views. Thank you so much for your love offering, my friend. I don't know. Have myself as a beneficiary. Single member. Living revocable trust sole member. I don't know. That's a little bit too complicated. David, if you already have a trust with multiple LLCs, how is that possible? So you have a trust with multiple LLCs as the beneficiary. Do you need another trust to purchase the property, or can the LLC under the trust purchase the property? I don't know how you're going to have. David, are you telling me you have a trust that has multiple LLCs as the beneficiary? That's a little weird. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. What? Let me clear that up for me, David. Queen Muhammad, I was going to go down to the recorder and change title myself. I don't know if I want to do. I don't want you doing that, especially if you're putting it in a trust, Queen Muhammad. 13 million views. Thank you for your love offering, my friend. Thank you. Clay, Chris, I will need to pay my LLC. Will I need to pay my LLC if it is utilized as the trustee? Well, here's the thing. I always like to presume I'm going to get audited, right? So whenever we close something out, I want that paper trail saying, look, well, we paid them. We paid them. So that's on you. But I always try to do some type of a paper trail. Round up, this has been a phenomenal training. Thank you for spending this time with me. We've got over 110 people. Thank you for spending this time with me and helping me get through this. Let me continue to give. It is just an honor. Hit that thumbs up button. You got a few more hours to take advantage of, invest in not only in your future, in your wisdom, in your knowledge, in your training, to walk in the path of the wealthy. I'm telling you, some attorneys don't know this, accountants. I never forget, I asked my accountant, hey, Lynn, do you think I should buy the house in the LLC or in my name? She goes, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it does matter. I don't want you on public record. I don't want you on public record with this stuff. If you need to see this again, let me step on the side. Beneficiary, you're getting it all, right? Got to get all that stuff. Move it over there. Right? You got to get it so y'all can see that. I don't want you having your name or your company name on title. As long as you say, listen, Chris, land trust is nothing but a way to take title, you can do it. You can do this. I believe in you. All right. Subscribe to the channel. Download the land trust document packet today. You're going to use code 25 off for a 25% discount. If you miss it today, still take some time to invest in your future and in your training. It wasn't until I understood this stuff. Thank you so much. Thank you, Al Entrepreneur. It wasn't when my career started to take off. Mr. Britannica, new at land trust. My mother decided to put a house in the trust I just created. Okay, good. I would like to be one of the trustees and beneficiaries. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want you to be the trustee. I want the trustee to be far away from me. Far away from me. Am I available after? Well, Jay, you can always hire me for a consultation, but I just don't have. I got 3 kids, wife, running 2 businesses. Yeah, I am available, but for consultations. Round up, download your docs, subscribe to the channel, like the content, and share it. Share this stuff with other people that are getting into the real estate business that need to understand how this stuff works. 13 million views. How can I transfer title in deed of trust state since third party holds the deed? Well, the deed of trust, don't forget, I'm in a deed of trust state. The deed of trust is nothing but a document that's recorded against the house, so that they can foreclose. Has nothing to do with title. Nothing to do with title. So 13 million views. I would rewind this. We showed you how to do that. Yeah, if you want to use your land trust, don't forget ownership and the debt. No, they don't mix. The deed of trust is over here recorded against the property. You can transfer ownership of the house out of your name into a trust at any time, right? Doesn't matter. That's another training for another day. Okay, Roundup. Listen, I love you. We're getting ready to get out of here. We got some good trainings coming up for you. So make sure you are subscribed. And if you don't want to miss anything, there's another link in the video description where you can just join our email list so you can get those emails. I don't want you to miss any of the training. Let me tell you, I'm gonna let you go. I was getting ready to buy this land today, literally today. Yesterday, I talked to my builder, the guy, man, he knows so much. He says, Chris, before you buy the land, make sure you call him and ask him about blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what this dude, who he's talking to? All right. So I called down to the city. I said, the city planning office. I'm like, I'm getting ready to buy this land. I want to know, is it in this zone or whatever, the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act zone? And it was. So I found out it's so weird how Knowing the right people will make your life far more easier. I just thank God the men that I know are used to making large decisions. So my builder was like, Chris, you need to call and make sure, because if you buy a house in the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Act district, it's going to make your life a living hell. All right. So I'm saying that to say, get some men on speed dial on your phone that you can call that will help you in your business. Now, not a billionaire isn't going to hang out with a millionaire. They're just not. They get two different interests. A millionaire isn't going to hang out with somebody that's making a couple $1,000s a month. They don't hang out, right? So millionaires hang out with millionaires, and I'm telling y'all this because I live this. So you have to turn into the person that to get these phone numbers from different men, right? Or pay for that access. Okay. Oh man, one of our members, what up? First Empire, if you use my LLC on a trust using employee of your LLC, will I still be able to file as a sole proprietor and have myself as one other person? I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, if you're the member, if I'm understanding you correctly, yeah, you're the only member. But I was ending my story by saying I called the guy up. He was telling me about this Chesapeake Bay preservation thing. There's so many stipulations to building. Like if you take a tree down, you got to plant 3. It's a specific area. You have to plant the trees. Everything you build has to be approved by the Chesapeake Bay Preservation Committee. They only meet once a month. So crazy. I'm glad that I was able to get that taken care of before I bought this land. Jay Stewart on a talk show about how to get loans to purchase, or people with the ability to lend for people who has a good deal on property. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Listen, I love you. I'll see you guys on the next video. Chris Haskins over and out. Peace.